Hey, what's happening out there? This is Halftime Prep Talk. I'm Aaron Snyder, the sports editor of The Independent, joined by sports writer Matt Sparks. And you are watching us on dailyindependent.com, YouTube, or The Independent's Facebook page. Thanks for watching, as always. And Halftime Prep Talk is sponsored by Fannin Automotive Family. Matt, we're going to bring in Russell Girls Soccer representatives today. So changing it up a little bit.
First time, no football this week.
No football this week. I think the girls deserve it. You know, they're going to the Elite Eight round of the state tournament once again, second straight season that is. So we're bringing in Shelby Huddleston, Kara Mayer, and Coach Joe Grizzle onto the show. They'll join us here in just a little bit. But before we get to soccer, let's talk about some high school football and check out the bottom of our screen for the Zanzi's ticker. Zanzi's Pizza to go is the way to go if you want some good pizza. Quentin Baker didn't have his best game on Friday night, Matt, but a life-changing day occurred on Saturday. The Tomcats junior running back verbally committed to the University of Kentucky, becoming the first Ashland player to do so since Arliss Beach back in the early 2000s. I think it was 2002. Arliss Beach committed to UK. Baker will start as a Wildcat in 2016. He's a junior this year, so congratulations to Quentin Baker. I mean, what a great day for him. Not only for him though, but for the area and for Ashland. I mean, this is a really big deal.
Yeah, then his father played at UK too, so it's
his father Al played at UK after a good career at Trigg County, and Al Baker had a really good career at Kentucky.
Oh yeah, it's a big day for his whole family.
It was. Congratulations to Quentin. Johnson Central, though, captured the Class 4A District 8 title with a 42-7 win over Ashland. The Golden Eagles, they remain undefeated. They're 9-0. Quarterback Bryce Workman led the way on the ground and through the air. Then Raceland's defense put forth another dominant effort on Friday night. They took care of business against Pikeville, claiming back-to-back district titles for the first time in 18 years. The Rams threw their third shutout of the season. Pretty impressive defense there for the Rams. We'll talk about that again here in just a little bit. Greenup County held tight to an 18-17 lead at halftime for the entire second half, earning a win over Boyd County. Its first district victory since 2010. And the Musketeers will travel to Covington Catholic on Saturday, November 8th to play an afternoon game there at Covcat. They don't have lights. As a number 3 seed out of that district in the playoffs. So Greenup County with a big monkey off their back. West Carter edged Lewis County 34-30 for a playoff spot. Fleming County beat Mason County 16-9 for a home playoff game, the Panthers' first in almost a decade. 2006 was their last home playoff game. Russell routed East Carter's 47-12. Nick Conley, Jacob McKee, and Bronson Corzup each with over 100 yards of offense, which is pretty much a given almost every week. Ironton fell to Jackson, and Fairview Cruz passed Nicholas. Matt, let's go to the game balls, and I'll let you go first. Actually, remember the football this time.
The football is back.
It's back in your hands.
Well, Aaron, I think I can only think of one guy deserving this week of this game ball, and I'm going to give it to senior Matt Lawson of the Greenup County Musketeers. He had a big touchdown in the game last week against Boyd County. And I think after all that program has endured the last 4 years, especially Matt himself, 4 years, 2 winless seasons, 26-game losing streak that they broke last year. I think that he is deserving. He tore his ACL, of course, too. He had to sit out almost the entire year. And I talked to him in the preseason, and he was bound and determined to turn this thing around, and I think that they have. And they got a chance to close out the season with a win Friday.
Yeah, East Carter Friday.
And win 4 games. So I'm going to give it to him.
All right. That's awesome.
Or the pitch.
Whoa.
There you go.
All right. No fumbles.
Yeah, that's good.
Always got to be on your toes around Matt Sparks. I'm going to go Nathaniel Davidson and Bailey Walker. So they're going to share this game ball. 2 sophomores for the Rams, Raceland Rams that is. Davidson had a big strip. Talk about fumbles. He caused one against Paintsville. Stripped him and almost scored a touchdown on that play and set up a touchdown. Bailey Walker But those guys at linebacker have just excelled this season, exceeded expectations, and one of the biggest things, when you look at that game Friday night, coming in, Paintsville had a lot of momentum, and including the return of a really good running back in Damian Belcher, Dante Hendricks playing for Paintsville now after transferring from Cabell Midland, finally got clearance to play, was having a really good start to his season. And Hendricks had 2 yards on 6 carries. Belcher had 16 yards on 14 carries. So, and I think those two linebackers, Bailey Walker and Nathaniel Davidson, had a lot to do with that.
I think that Rams defense, well, that's so impressive. They were swarming to the ball. I mean, it's not just one guy in the backfield.
That's
as
right.
soon as the running backs got the ball, there were like 2 or 3 guys in the backfield to meet him. And especially, I was impressed how the size of Paintsville in person. They have some big guys on that team, and it probably took a little bit more than one person to bring them down. But that Racing defense is quite impressive.
Let's go to our top 3 games of the week. Number 3, Russell at Pikeville. 1 loss between the two teams. Pikeville even owns a win over Belfry. That's very impressive. Panthers have a slew of speed. They piled 55 points on the Red Devils last season. Derek Pugh has 1,232 rushing yards and 23 touchdowns for Pikeville this season. It's going to be a big challenge for the Red Devils going down there and playing on the turf.
This is quite a matchup to end the season on. This, of course, will be really help the Devils get ready for the playoffs. But I tell you, Pikeville could be bigger than a Class A team. I mean, I think they could really do some damage in 3A or 4A.
They could.
But I kind of see this game as going to be high scoring. Pikeville put 56, 55 on the board last year against these two teams, and they've been scoring a well of points this season. And with Russell and Conley and Corsup and McKee, I think they're going to put up a lot of points. But I think Pikeville by a couple of touchdowns. On the Russell on the road, I think Pikeville's got a little too much.
Yeah. Pikeville has, I haven't seen them this year, but last year what really jumped out to me was just their overall speed and just the electricity they had there at wide receiver, with Cody Eastep and now the running back with Derek Pugh and Austin Charles at quarterback and Ben Maynard in the backfield. They have a lot of weapons to account for. Russell's defense, as well as they have played, they're going to have their hands full down there in Pikeville, and I think that's going to be, like you said, a little too much. Pikeville's probably going to win by a couple scores, so I'm with you on there. Belfry at Johnson Central for number 2 game of the week. Again, just 1 loss between the teams. Undefeated Golden Eagles need this test, I think, before heading into a grueling postseason path. Belfry defending Class 3A champs, led by Austin Hatfield with 776 yards and Keaton Taylor 503 yards on the ground. Johnson Central has 4 backs over 350 yards. Your thoughts?
I haven't seen either of these two teams in person this season, but I know they're 2 pretty storied programs in Kentucky football,
Indeed.
especially in that area. These two teams have faced off last 7 seasons. Central's 4-3, so it's a pretty tight matchup.
Jim Matney for Johnson Central played at Belfry.
Really?
Yes. So just a little more, adds a little more intrigue to the series and to the game Friday night.
Yeah, but Central has been racking up the points too, just like we touched on in the previous matchup. And Bryce Workman didn't put in a workman-like effort this season.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it to the Eagles at home.
Eagles at home.
Yes.
Belfry is, I think if it was at Belfry, maybe, but Johnson
Yes.
Central, again, I mentioned with Pikeville and speed. Johnson Central, that's what they got. I mean, they're physical up front. They know how to tackle. They don't let you get away from you. And the fact that they held Quentin Baker and Jake Long to a combined just 100 yards, I think, combined on about 20 total carries. That's doing some work.
I think so. Yeah.
And Johnson Central, while they haven't been, that challenged this year, they did have a couple good scrimmages against opponents. Cabell Midland, I think, was one of them, and I think they had good showings there. So, they did have a little bit in the preseason, and they've shown that this season that they're for real. Here in a couple weeks, though, we'll see how legitimate they are. But this week, I think they polish off the undefeated season against Belfry. Number 1. Raceland at Ironton. Raceland shut out the Fighting Tigers 17-0 last year at Raceland. And now they go to Ironton's field turf, physical test, right before the playoffs.
Well, I think hopefully there's plenty of ice in Ironton Friday night, because I think both teams are going to need it. This is going to be a slobber knocker. Have you heard that word before? And I think what's a great way to get ready for the playoffs? I visit the Tank Stadium. I'm not going against Raceland anymore. I've made that mistake before this season, and I have paid for it. So it's going to be a low-scoring game, I think. But the question is, can that Rams defense stop the Iron running game? I think they can. I'm going Raceland by 3.
Wow. So that would be back-to-back wins over Ironton.
I think so.
Okay. They're going into Tanks Memorial. Let's just, Raceland's going to, Class A Raceland's going into Tanks Memorial. I'm going to beat Ironton.
I've said it. I've already said it.
All right.
I've already said it.
I think it could happen. I'm just giving you a hard time. Ironton, I do think will win this game, though. They're coming off a really impressive effort against Jackson. I know I should learn my lesson from Raceland too, but
you haven't learned your lesson.
I know I still haven't. I guess I got a thick skull. But Raceland is, they're coming off a nice win too. But Ironton, 21 points against Jackson. Jackson's been mowing over everybody, and Ironton gave them about as close of a game that they have encountered this year. So I'm going to go Ironton in a close one. Maybe by a touchdown.
You've heard it here, Raceland, folks. Now, if he Ironton, I think
am I gonna have to get the Rams hard hat?
You got to wear the hat again next week.
The Rams hard hat.
I'll write that down.
The Rams hard hat will make a return appearance if Raceland pulls it off. Okay.
Okay, you heard it here, folks, right here on the web.
We're going to hear from Joe Grizzle here in just a minute. Bring him in. We'll talk a little Russell girls soccer. All right, bringing in Joe Grizzle, first guest of today's show on HTPT. Coach Grizzle has been with Russell Soccer for 16 seasons, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
17-4 this season, heading to the Elite Eight for the second straight year after Monday night's 10-0 win over Electric Central. 18-6-1 last season. How can you kind of sum up the last 2 years?
Well, I think as soccer has, grown a little bit this year, over the years, and we've got more girls that are playing in select leagues, and if you've got a core that you can work around, which we've been lucky enough to have the past couple of years, and everyone else fills in, and we've been very lucky.
Yeah, you talk about the core. I mean, it's just a good senior group, isn't it?
Yeah, a good senior group, and a core of girls that are playing more soccer in some of the select type leagues, and you get 6 or 7 girls that you can build around, and it helps out.
Have you noticed a significant increase in popularity in the sport over your 16 seasons at Russell?
No, very much. 16 years ago, we had very little soccer in this area. I mean, we had some youth leagues, the Y leagues, and the Greenville County League, things of that sort. But parent coaches. I think the coaching has gotten better over the years, of course, and more people are learning more about the sport. It's just become a lot more popular. TV helps a lot.
Yeah, sure. For you guys, you have the same opponent that you did last season in the Elite Eight round, going to Lafayette to face Notre Dame. They're right up there, a top 3 team, the defending champions, obviously. How will this season's approach compare to last season for you guys?
Well, I think since the girls have experienced that stage and have been there, a lot of the girls are back from last year. Of course, we graduated 5 great seniors, but you graduate seniors every year. And this year, I think maybe it will not be such a shock. When you walk out onto that stage, and you got the turf field, which we're not used to playing on, and I think hopefully being there last year will settle some nerves down for this year.
And you mentioned before we came on here about the turf field, and that you were going to try to set something up maybe at Morehead State this Friday.
Yes.
Leading up to in preparation for the game.
Yeah, we're hoping to be able to get on a field at least once before we get down there. We played one game this year on turf, and you know that they had that advantage of being able to play on a lot of turf fields in that area, but we just do not have that many at our access here. So
Sure.
it'll be great to be able to get on one for at least one session.
Mhm.
And you know, it plays a lot quicker. It's a lot faster game on turf, so it'll give us a chance to get acclimated a little bit.
Just great back-to-back seasons. I mean, how does this group maybe compare to some that you've had in the past? I know you guys have had some real good success there at Russell, but how does this group kind of separate itself?
Well, it's hard to really say. I mean, we've had a lot of good teams. I think this group has worked together more off-season. And as I mentioned earlier, the select teams help. You know, they all play on the same select team or try to,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps being able to know what each other's doing and just playing together.
Now, tell me about your background a little bit. You know, going back before you were coaching, did you play back in the day?
Well, they didn't really have soccer around here back in my day, but we actually had a little group that we got together because I had a cousin that played in college,
Mhm.
and we went around and played some B teams of some of the local colleges in scrimmage matches and let them beat up on us. But we had a lot of fun with it, and actually I ended up playing rugby for 3 years and on a club team. But we would play soccer anytime we got a chance to.
What was rugby like playing that? Physical sport, isn't it?
Rugby, very physical sport, combination of football and soccer, and I loved it.
If you could get tickets to the World Cup or the Super Bowl, which would you choose?
World Cup.
I thought so.
Absolutely.
Just had to make sure.
Absolutely.
You and you know, talking about longevity, Ashland's girls coach has also, you know, been at it a long time. I think close to 20, 23, 24, 25 seasons, somewhere around there. Do you guys, I know it's Ashland Russell, and you guys have that rivalry going, a little friendly rivalry between you and EB?
Oh yes, yes. And you know, off the field, you know, we're great friends. He's a great guy. We talk a lot. But yeah, when we get game day, we've got our game faces on, and we're opponents. So,
All right,
but it's
Coach.
been fun over the years.
Yeah, you guys have had some good battles over the seasons, and you guys obviously beat them for the region championship this year. So good luck this coming Saturday in Lexington. You guys obviously have a tough opponent, but you were there last year, so maybe that experience will help.
We hope so.
All right, Coach, we're going to bring in Shelby Huddleston and Kara Mayer here in just a bit.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. All right, Shelby Huddleston joins us on the HTPT set. Shelby is a senior for Russell, 4-year starter in soccer now as a defender. Going back to the Elite Eight this year, I mean, how exciting is that? You know, second year in a row, and as a senior, get to experience that again. What's it been like these past 2 seasons?
It's been awesome. I think we really deserve it because we come to practice every day and we work so hard, and this is what we've been working up to. So I'm really proud of everyone.
How were you able to get back, you think? I mean, what's the biggest thing that you guys...
Well, we just had to stay focused all season because we knew that we could beat all these teams, but we just had to actually do the work on the field and actually get the job done.
Notre Dame, again, a really tough team, but you know, if you're going to have to face them, you might as well face them right off the bat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going in against one of the top 3 teams in the state, defending champion. How is the approach, and I asked Coach kind of the same thing, but how is the approach different this year?
Well, I think we're definitely better than what we were last year, and I was actually hoping we got to play them again because I want to get revenge on them. But I think we can definitely beat them this year if we come out and play the best game that we have, and I'm very excited for it.
You guys have had some nice wins this year. One that really stands out is the win over Bishop Brossard a couple weeks ago on October 11th is when it was, and that was actually on a turf field too, and you guys will play on turf again this week. Top 20 team there that you beat. How did that win kind of help define your season so far?
Well, it just shows how much work we put into it, because that's beating a big team like that really shows you how focused and determined we are, and we can beat any of those teams that we go against.
You personally, I know you have a lot going on in terms of sports. I mean, you play basketball as well. You kind of, I mean, you're known as a really good defender on the basketball court too. You have those quick hands. Obviously, you can't use the quick hands in soccer,
Yeah.
but do you kind of have the same mentality on the soccer field that you do on the basketball court?
Yeah, because in soccer I don't try to score. In basketball I don't try to score either. I try to set everyone else up to score and get other people up. And in soccer I do sort of the same thing. I try to win the ball and give it to other people so they can score because that's not really my job, you know.
How's this basketball team going to look this year?
I think we'll be good because even though we did lose 2 starters, we still have Maggie Jackamzuck back and Madison Darnell, and those are 2 huge, like, key components to our team. So I think we'll be pretty good if we just stay focused and work hard.
Yeah, Madison on the outside and then Maggie inside. I mean, both of those girls really had outstanding seasons last year, didn't they?
Yeah, and even though we lost Lexi Berry, Madison Darnell can step up and shoot just the way Lexi Berry did. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see what they bring to the table this year.
What's it like juggling both sports? You know, about the same time, you know, your soccer kind of runs into basketball.
Yeah, it gets hard at times, but I mean, I love both the games, so it's really, I enjoy it. So.
All right, we're going to move on to the triple option portion of the interview. 3 rapid fire questions. First, what's your favorite subject?
Biology.
Okay, who's the funniest girl on the soccer team?
Alexis McMonagall.
Okay, what year is she?
She's a senior.
Senior, okay. And then favorite hobby off the field or court?
Well, all I do is sports, so that really is my hobby. So.
After high school, what are the plans for the future?
I will attend Moorhead and play soccer there.
Okay,
So.
great. All right, we're going to bring in Kara Mayer to take your spot. Shelby, you did great, and good luck on Saturday. I'm sure you guys will bring your A game, and you'll be ready to go.
Thank you.
All right. Kara Mayer joins us. She's a senior for Russell as well, just like Shelby. And Kara, congratulations. You guys have had another fantastic season, heading to Lafayette this weekend to face Notre Dame. How exciting is it to just, you know, be on this ride right now?
It's so surreal. Like, I never pictured that I could be able to like make it this far with so many people that I love.
You came to Russell as a junior from Scott County. What was it like at first, just getting adjusted to the new surroundings?
Well, it was like a smaller school, and then whenever we started soccer in the summer, everyone was so welcoming, and I already felt like I was part of the team.
And you probably feel at home anytime you're on the soccer field anyway,
Yeah.
I would say. How long have you played soccer now? How many years?
I've played since I was about 6. So.
Wow. Pretty much all your life then.
Yeah.
What's Joe Grizzle like as a coach?
It can be tough sometimes. There are times when we can joke around, but then we have to know when to be serious and when to, you know, crack down and start practicing.
Obviously a successful program, 9 region titles, and what is the thing that really stands out about Russell to you? I mean, you know, being only your 2nd season there, what's it like just being part of that program?
It's just, we're so close with each other, and it's basically like my second family. Like, I can tell any of the girls on the team anything,
Yeah.
and I'm comfortable around all of them.
You have 33 goals this season. On what aspect of your game have you kind of placed the most emphasis on this season? What are you trying to improve on the most?
I tried to improve on working the ball around better and also being more physically fit so I could run more and do more for
Yeah.
my team.
I mean, when somebody watches you play, I mean, the first thing that really jumps out is your speed. Has anybody on the team challenged you to a foot race?
We've never like raced, but if I'm going against someone, Shelby gives me a pretty good vibe there.
What would you call the highlight of the season so far?
I would definitely have to say right around now, like making it to the Elite 8 and winning region. And our season's been really successful, and I'm just proud of everyone.
Notre Dame is, I mean, it can be an intimidating thing, you know, to go in and face the #1 team and defending champion. But how do you go in not intimidated?
you just can't let nerves get the best of you, and you have to go in and be confident in your team and go out there and know that whenever you play, you're going to leave everything out on the field and do everything that you possibly can for your team.
You were first team All-State as a junior last year. What did that honor mean to you?
I don't know. It was just kind of like I've always looked up to girls who have been good enough to do those kinds of things, and then it was kind of like, oh, no, I'm one of those girls. I don't know. It was really cool.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the word surreal earlier. It's probably had that
It's the
kind of
same
feeling.
thing, yeah.
Your plans after high school, you're going to Morehead State, and you got a scholarship to play soccer. Shelby's going to Morehead State as well. How much are you looking forward to that?
I'm so excited. I can't wait. And especially having Shelby there and just already knowing someone, and then it's kind of like a dream. I get to play in college.
Yeah. Okay, triple option time. What's your favorite school subject?
That would probably have to be English.
And what's your second favorite sport?
Oh gosh. I don't have a second favorite sport.
Just soccer.
Yeah.
Who's the most talkative girl on the team?
It'd have to be like Annalene Miller and Carly Patton, because they're just two peas in a pod and they just talk all the time.
Keeps it fun though, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Keep
Well,
things interesting.
yeah. Hopefully this weekend will be fun for you guys. I know it will. Just making the trip and being there. Congratulations again, and good luck on Saturday. Thanks. Matt Sparks rejoining us here on the set.
I'm back.
I'm playing musical chairs. I went from here to there, back to here. I just like to mix things up. Matt, let's go to our two for the road. I'll let you go first.
Well, if you haven't heard, Aaron, there's a big horse racing event this weekend.
Oh,
The Breeders' Cup, one of the top horse racing events in the whole entire world. Coming to you from Santa Anita, California. $24.5 million in purses will be given out over 2 days.
Wow.
Top horse races in the world will be competing, and all come down to the Classic race Saturday night in prime time. See Kentucky Derby winner, California Chrome. I think he's got a little rivalry going with the horse that beat him in the Belmont, Totalist. So that'll be interesting. Shared Belief is the favorite. He's come on by Jim Rome. I don't know if you knew that, the radio host.
jeez.
So it's going to be a big day, and I can't wait. Next season it's going to be in Keelan, right here in the great state of Kentucky.
That's right. It's going to really be an exciting time.
Yes.
I know you're hoping to go to Keeneland next year.
I'm crossing my fingers.
I'd like to maybe check it out myself. It's going to be a very fun time next year. But this weekend, Breeders' Cup's always a big deal, especially in this state. And for all your horse racing tips, Matt Sparks' cell phone number is. No, I'm just kidding. I won't do that.
What do you get about my Twitter handle?
Oh yeah, at the RP. RP's capitalized.
Yes.
33.
I will be tweeting.
For all
that.
your horse racing tips, tweet at the RP 33. My one for the road is NBA season opening up. I'm always excited for about 2 weeks, and it quickly wears off. That's just me.
Yes.
I kind of miss the golden days of the NBA. The early to mid 90s. That's what I consider the golden days for me anyway. Growing up, I was just a child, early mid 90s. Just some of the great trios in NBA history. You look at Shaq and Nick Anderson and Penny Hardaway of the Magic, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman of the Bulls, Detlef Schrempf. You haven't heard that name in a while, have you? Sean Kemp and Gary Payton for the Supersonics. They had some good teams then. Then Reggie Miller, Aaron McKee, Rick Smits. I could go on for days for the Pacers. But, this year I'm kind of excited because of the trio in Cleveland. Kevin Love, LeBron James, and Kyrie Irving. I think that could kind of rekindle some of the fire, my NBA interest. It's going to come back, I think, when I watch those guys play. And Cleveland's, probably the most local team we have, so might as well root for the Cavs. I know that you're a Celtics fan yourself. How are they going to be this year?
Not very good. Not very good. Rondo, I don't know what happened. He fell at his home and fractured his hand.
He's had some bad luck.
And so he's going to miss maybe the first month of the season, and that's with
I was going to
no-
draft him in fantasy basketball too.
Without a point guard, we might not be very good. And but I'm a child of the '80s.
Okay.
I was a graduate in high school when you were growing up, and of course Larry Bird,
Okay, of
Kevin
course.
McHale, and the Chief, Robert Parrish. So it seems like in the NBA it comes down to if you can find the big three.
It's the big three.
It's always the big three. So James went down to Miami and did what he wanted to do, won a couple of championships, and now he's back. And all the King's Men.
All the Kings
That was
men.
on
Yes,
the
it's
cover.
Sports Illustrated.
That's a great cover. I think they're going to be the number one seed in the East
Did
this
a lot of
year.
damage, I think. Cavs Knicks, they start, or they played it tonight. Being Thursday here, Thursday night game between the Cavs and Knicks, both of them will open their seasons. Also tonight, the Kiwanis Bowl is coming up, the freshman game between Ashland and Russell football at Putnam Stadium. That's always a good one. Trick or treats tonight, so watch out. Look if you're in downtown or if you're in South Ashland or Ashland or wherever you want to trick or treat. Just be careful around the little kiddies. If you're in Ashland, you might see little Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy running around. Those are my kids.
If you come to my house, you're going to get some Starburst and Skittles, my favorite candy.
Oh, no chocolate.
No
here.
chocolate. I'm lactose intolerant, remember?
Oh, that's right. I always forget. You know, when I was growing up, we had, I would always go to, I grew up near Cincinnati and went to it was a neighborhood called Bridgeton Manor. And it was, you had some big houses there. You knew you were going to get some big candy bars. I was always disappointed if I got like a mini Milky Way or something at one of those houses. But me and my friends, we had the right idea. We went to that neighborhood and trick-or-treated. And I think we got a couple king-size bars even. So we knew what we were doing. I would always have the big pillowcase. I didn't go with the little pumpkin bucket or whatever. I got the big pillowcase and filled it full.
I used to live in this neighborhood in Worthington, Old Farm Estates.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure people.
People in Raceland know what you're talking
I know
about.
what I'm talking about. And that was the
I had no
place.
idea.
That was the place to trick or treat. It's circular. It's got quite a few houses, and I used to live there. And I had once bought 8 bags of candy on one trick or treat, and I was empty
Wow.
about an hour and a half in.
Wow.
So I moved and saved money on my candy budget now.
All right, we'll come back to HDPT next week. We're hoping to have the region volleyball champion coach on, and we'll also have kind of a playoff roundtable discussion with Mackenzie Bates, Zach Clemmy, you, and me. We'll talk about football playoffs and who we think will go the farthest, things of that nature. So, again, Halftime Prep Talk is sponsored by Fannin Automotive Family. We want to thank our guests from Russell Girls Soccer and wish them luck on this Saturday. From Matt Sparks, I'm Aaron Snyder. This has been Halftime Prep Talk.